and says something that is not nice to me, I decide to tell myself that, oh, maybe the person is having a bad day, rather than saying, oh, this person has insulted me.
Yeah.
So I decide to say, oh, who knows the experiences the person has had? So I begin to have sympathy for the person, because I also realized that hurt people hurt people. You know, people that are hurt want to pass it down to the next person. So when you actually see somebody that is trying to do you or trying to, you know, cause you pain, is actually from a lot of spiritual people. They just step back and ask, how can I help this person? Because the person has things that are bothering him or her and requires help, but doesn't know how to get. So that way, you'll be able to help the person, and you yourself will not take that negative energy in, because once you take it in, it's been transferred to you and you start getting frustrated. Then you see somebody else comes to say something to you, you pass it down to the person, and it just keeps going on and on and on, and all the unpleasant experiences, you know, just keep being recorded in the mind. And you know, so we can actually have good experiences in life because God created us in love. We are created to function in love, and anything that is contrary to that love, that's why you see that when something negative happens around you, maybe you're just happy doing your own thing, somebody comes and tells you a bad news, what happens? Or somebody insults you and you respond negatively. You start having headache, or you start feeling some kind of negative feeling. That's because the body is not meant to function in that state. The body, as the Bible says in 1 John, it's meant to function in unconditional love. And it has also been said that sickness cannot thrive in a body that lives in unconditional love. So anything contrary to love is destructive. So I don't know, maybe we'll have some questions before we continue, so I don't just keep talking and talking. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much, Ma. Does anybody have any question? You can, if you have any questions, so you can raise your hand. There's a raise a hand icon. You can raise your hand. I think, Pastor Alex, you have a question or you want to share something?
Hey.
Okay,
yes, I have a question. I was looking for the raise your hand button, but I couldn't find it on my screen. So,
please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Ndubisi. Thank you, Madam Nnenna. Okay, talking about dislodging things like especially anger, replacing with happiness or something else you'd like to replace it with, firing the right kind of nerve cells and reconditioning ourselves. Is there any practical example you can really give about this? Because this is good, sounds good, and you know, would like to understand how this can be applied practically in life.
Okay.
On remembering
let me share what I did.
Okay, good.
Let me share how I process things like this. So my old self, right, used to be very, if I walk into a room, I want to be the most intelligent person in the room. And you know, that would give people the negative kind of vibe immediately. They were like, what's this guy about? Why is his nose so stuck up? I always want to win every argument, be it intellectually or what I want to be, have the upper hand, right? So I don't pay attention to the softer issues for people. I am confrontational. That time I used to think I knew it all. I used to think life was all about your IQ, you know, and nothing of emotional intelligence. So you could really sum me up to be, you know, the kind of dude that you don't want to engage with because I'll just give you the wrong vibe. right? And so I brought that energy into my team. Before I go any further, easily today on record, I probably have the most effective team in my bank today. The individuals in my team are world-class people, right? But when I started to manage this group of people, because we see the world the way we are, all that anger, all that aggression, I threw it at this bunch of guys. And so I could never see any good in what the output that they used to have. And so I kind of a particular day, I went to my boss. I told her, Nnenna, this particular staff, I am not going to confirm her. I'm going to extend her confirmation. I'm going to this. And she was just looking at me, you know. And when when Madam Nnenna wants to cancel it, she will first look, then you just hear,
Yes,
Then she will
exactly.
sit back. She say,
Exactly.
She's processing. Then she will sit back and clasp her hands like this. And she now told me, do you know that these people you have are probably one of the best in this bank? Have you looked inside you to check whether the issues are with you, not with them? I couldn't get it. In fact, it annoyed me the more, you know. But speaking to what Pastor has just asked, I had to go back. Yes, I had to go back and start to ask myself that these guys that I have that can't seem to produce any fantastic report, but from credential perspective, these guys are easily 2-1 first class material. These guys are brainy. So where is the problem? Is it in attitude? So I had to self-reflect. And so, Pastor, the first thing you need to do to replace anger with happiness is to first build your consciousness, to build your awareness, because human beings are the only species that is metacognitive. What do I mean by metacognitive? It means that we can literally stand outside of ourselves and assess ourselves. So I can sit down now and have an inside argument with the ND that is inside me and be checking, ND, why do you always get angry? Or ND, why do things hurt you like this? I can assess my character. That's metacognition. And so when you identify, and you have to be true to yourself, where you see truth, please call it what it is. You know, because it's very easy for us human beings sometimes to cast aspersions on people or to blame others and never accept blame. Where you know, if you really want to change, you have to be vulnerable enough to accept blame where the blame is your own. So I started to ask myself, these guys, some of them even have better grades from school than I did. What gives me the right to be so judgmental about their outputs? Okay, even if I have been opportuned to have more exposure, more access to clients and information, does that mean I have to lord over them with it? If I was lorded over, or if I was denied these opportunities when I was coming up, will I honestly be able to stand and say, yes, I'm an intelligent man, I have this pedigree, I have that? So I started to realize that the bulk of the problem was with me. And I tell you for a fact, the moment that consciousness shifted inside me, the same set of people who could do no right. These days, I struggle to make on what they are writing. There's a day I went to Nnenna's office and I was telling her that, boss, Vincent sent an email to you, and I swore, I thought I was the one that wrote it. It was flawless. And she was looking at me, she said, you see, is it not people who say, but they were kidding. I said, look, I couldn't correct anything. Before I used to have it, they used to tell me, Oga Red Bible, that's what they used to call me. Whenever they send me that, they go and print it and bring it. Hello?
No, we're here.
We are here. We are feeling you. We are feeling you.
Whenever they write anything for me, I'll say, go and print it and bring it. When they bring it, I will bring out my red Bible. By the time I finish painting the thing with enough shout, you defeat them So at some point, you know, they say when the ear hears no praise, the heart stops caring. So they just gave up and said, well, since you feel you know it all, kill yourself with the work now. But the moment I, you know, self-reflected and I sought change, my whole team, individually, I went after each and every one of them and I apologized for the kind of human being I had been up to that point. And I made them a commitment that for as long as they will have me as their boss, I will do better. And so I went as far as creating a leadership table in my office where they could appraise me when I'm not there to determine at what point they feel, you know, I have led them. Is he leading well? They keep moving it up a notch on the chart. Is he leading poorly? The thing starts to come back down. So with all those tools, I was able to, you know, shift my mindset, right? But to summarize it for you, sir, the first things first is to honestly make an assessment of yourself and be ready to accept, because the truth will come at you. You will see it. Please be open-minded enough to accept where you have faults and be vulnerable enough to retrace your steps. And every day, some days it will be tough, you lose your temper, you will make mistakes, but be ready and be quick enough to retrace your steps, apologize for it, and try to be better. Just get back on the horse. It's not a day's job. It takes a while, you know. But over time, I found out these days that I cannot retain anger. If I'm angry, it physically affects my body. I break out into frown lines. My face will darken. I cannot, until I purge myself of it, I cannot move forward. Unlike before, where 3 years of anger, I can keep it inside my chest and I'll be waiting for you. But so it's a life process. It's a life process. You know, sometimes I kid you not. Ask my madam, I've left my office in VI before to go and apologize at Oregon to compare us in level. Maybe the girl will have maybe like 8, 9, 10 levels between me and her. When I showed up in the office, her boss ran away. They thought I came today. That man has come.
They were afraid.
They were afraid. And I went and I said, I spoke out of line to you last night. I have no right to do that. It will not happen again. Please, the girl was just looking at me like this. That what is happening? You know, but I needed to do that, right? Because those things will teach me to humble myself so that I better manage my emotions next time. When I know that I will have to drive from Victoria Island to Oregu because of 2 minutes of, you know, losing my temper, I will caution myself the next time and I will engage the person a bit more professionally. So over time, you know, life, we are creatures of habit. That's how you unlearn the old self and gradually replace it with a completely different frame of mind. Did I answer your question, sir?
Mr. Alex, did he answer your question?
Very well, very well. I already said, wow, that's remarkable.
Yes, it dropped the chat, a chat for you to say that that's remarkable.
I don't know if you can see this table.
Yes, I can see that.
Can you make any sense of it?
The biological model of change. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, the past and the future, correct? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you see that from a science perspective, my madam says I like too much of science, that I overthink things. From a science perspective, you know, my madam is very spiritual.
He's very intelligent, so I told him that he likes. He's very intelligent. He likes science.
Thank you. From a science perspective, there is a model of change, right? So you unlearn and relearn a new future. You break the habit of being your old self and you reinvent your new self. Synaptic connections, the nerve cells that I talked about in the brain that form memory. You prune them away and then you sprout new connections. So every day I wake up, there was something Nnenna taught me. I speak into the day before I stand up from my bed. So at that point, when you are just rising from bed, it is that time that the subconscious mind is at its rawest power.
anything you're speaking at that wee hours of the morning, you give life to them. So I wake up and I say, God, I thank you for a brand new day. Today will be full of your blessings. Today I will not lose my temper. Today, everybody I touch, I will leave them with a smile on their face. Today, and I'm saying it as if I'm talking to people, but I'm just talking to myself, right? This is gradually, as you say those things and affirm those things every day, right? You manifest them into your reality. You literally become a different kind of person. you know.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Like, this is practical steps to personal transformation. Thank you, Mr. Ndubisi, for being so open and vulnerable. I mean, like, some people only tell us the good side, but you were open to actually, you know, tell us when you unleashed and even drove down to
The
Oregon
bad
from
side
PI.
the bad side is like,
You know, so two people raised their hands. Mr. Ejiofor, are you still there?
Yes.
Meg.
I'm here. So it wasn't a question,
Your video,
right?
if you don't
Yes,
mind.
please, I can hear you.
Oh, Mr. Ejiofor, see your pretty wife. Good evening, ma.
It wasn't a question, but I was delving my heart for what Andy was pouring out. I felt it. I mean, it struck me. And I
thank you,
just wanted
sir.
to say thumbs up. Good one, brother.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, sir.
You
Thank you. I'm
told
good
the
to see
story
your
now,
wife.
brother. You were there. You were in the trenches with us, sir.
Correct.
Well done, well done. Thank you, Mr. Ejiofor, and your beautiful wife. Thank you, Mr. Edache. You raised
Thank
your
you,
hand
sir.
as well. Meg, over to you now.
So thank you so much, Mr. Andy. Thank you, Mrs.
Mr. Edache
Kayode-Lawal.
raised his hand as well.
Okay, so I'd like to know, does anybody have
I'm fine.
a question?
I'm fine.
Oh,
Okay. You wouldn't want to ask a question now?
No, I wasn't going to ask a question. I was just going to.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
I was just going to affirm some of the things that have been said by Madame and Andy. You know, I'm one of those people also trying to battle emotions, you know, anger and all of those. I've had some private discussions with Madame, and I say to her, anytime I lose my temper, you know, because you're conscious of it, like Andy rightly said, because you're conscious of it, anytime you go amiss, your body just tells you that something is, what you've done is bad, irrespective of the facts or the points you wanted to prove. The question is, I mean, wasn't there a better way to have done it? Should you have lost your anger? I mean, are you not more humane when you do things more in a more civil manner? You know, those are some of the questions that come to my mind from time to time when I seem to have lost that control. You know, so like you said, it's work in progress, but you have to be conscious of it and keep at it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very much, Mr.
Amazing,
Edache.
amazing. Thank you, Mr.
Agada.
Edache.
Okay. Any other person would like to share an experience or ask a question, please?
Okay, we can have closing final words from Mr. Ndubisi and Madam Nnenna.
Oh,
If there's
thank
no
you
other
very much.
question.
I hope I contributed my own 2 cents. You know, we're learning inside this.
You did more than 2 cents, sir. Mr. Alex, this is not fair now. Why will you be eating that marinated chicken? Please, warn yourself, turn off that video. What's that? Okay, Mr. Ndubisi, sorry, I was distracted by the chicken. No, I just had to interrupt. Forgive me, please. That chicken just entered my face. Oh my God. Yeah, Mr. Ndubisi, you did contribute more than 2 cents. It was very practical. And amazingly, you know, when I have experienced Madam Nnenna as well. And it came to a point, you see that metacognitive thing you said, right? I began to use it. And what I would say to myself is, okay, I'm getting angry and I can feel my body vibrating. Because the truth is, all these emotions, like you rightly said, is actually it reflects on our body. You will know when your emotions are negative. There's a book, Deadly Emotions.
Let me, emotions are literally chemicals discharged from the brain into the body. So every emotion has a chemical signature, and it's like a database all in the brain. So there is the chemical signature or the chemical makeup for anger. There is the one for happiness. There's one for gratitude. So there's something when they say, when you have to think higher than you feel. If not, you enter into an emotional loop. So this is what it is. I say something that annoys you. You are angry. The brain receives anger. Immediately, the brain goes into the hardware and downloads the chemical signature for anger. And on its side, just turns it over, and then it gushes through your body. So you're feeling angry, right? But the danger here is that the more you feel angry, the more you send back through the neurons, right? You send back information to the brain. I am still angry. The brain goes, oh, more anger, right? It turns in more doses of that chemical emotion signature called the anger emotion. So you are angrier, and then you're feeling angry before you start to think angry. So you're thinking and feeling the same way. So you're actually in a loop, going round and round. Somebody now tells you, Madam, it's okay now, calm down. In your mind, you want to calm down, but you can't bring yourself to calm down because you've been slammed into that thinking and feeling loop. So the brain is just adding more doses of chemical of anger. You're feeling it. So meditation, you can sludge that kind of loop. So you go into a meditative state and kind of breathe through it so that you kind of start thinking higher than you feel. That way you can break that kind of cycle. But we can discuss that on another day.
Thank you. So, in order to just apply, okay, Meg, you want to say something?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ndubisi. There's actually a saying that says that you cannot control other people's feelings towards you. You can't control how they will deal with how you feel, but you can actually control yourself towards another person's actions.
Absolutely.
So because you are the one that matters. And so you need to be really, really careful in such a way that it doesn't affect you. Because if you're not happy, if you do not your health, it affects your health. Yeah. Whichever way you look at it, it affects our health. Is it that we are happy? It affects our health. So we really need to take that into cognizance because you can control yourself. You may not be able to control other people's actions towards you, but you can control yourself. And it's very, very important because we are important. We are our first customers, not other people. You are the first customer to yourself, not to another person. Thank you.
Yeah. Final words from Madam Nnenna.
Okay, thank you, everybody. In fact, I've learned a lot again. You've refreshed me this evening. Well done, you've done very well. So for me, free myself daily from all those emotions. And like he said, first thing in the morning, I decide, you can actually take control of yourself and your day and decide how you want your day to be. And you decide, and the Bible says, call things that be not as though they are and they will become. So I tell myself, today I am happy. I'm a happy person. Today I'm successful. Today I'll find favor with everybody I come across. And sometimes those things can challenge, they'll be challenged. But once you remember that you have taken a decision in the morning that this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be henceforth. And you have I have my affirmation book that writes the things I want to become. So from time to time, I just go back to that book and look at, and look through it. So it reminds me of the state and the consciousness that I'm supposed to carry through that day. So I just continue affirming. Sometimes I'm just walking down, you know, and nobody knows. Under my breath, I'm just telling myself, this is who I am. This is, you know, what I'm going to do. So I just keep making declarations from time to time, you know, and that consciousness just makes you continue to recreate who you are into who you want to become. And then you continue to clean up your inside and replace them with, you know, who you want to become. Another thing that helps and that really helped me is focusing on videos from YouTube or faith messages, or, you know, like the science part he talked about. I had to go deep into science to understand how the brain and the mind function. So I had to study that, you know, and then that even helps me understand the Bible more when I read the Bible, because now I understand how all those neurons and everything affect the body. So when the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. When it says out of the abundance of the heart, so science has now aligned with religion to say that, you know, that there's power, the power of the mind. So I do a lot of positive affirmations daily, just to remind myself and keep myself in that loop of don't lose it, don't lose it. So when even when I lose it, like he said, I can kneel down for anybody. I go and apologize to anybody and I say, I'm sorry, I did not mean to do this. And I find that when somebody hurts you and you respond in love, it's an unexpected response. So it actually changes that person. Instead of the person now coming back to continue fighting you, they become shocked and they're wondering why, because that's not what they expected from you. So that's how I've been managing myself, and I'm still growing, learning to manage the mind. I've done a lot of lessons on the mind, how the mind functions, and I found out that I can actually, like he said, sit back and observe my thoughts and question my thoughts. You know, I also learned that when you question your thoughts, like when you say to yourself, okay, assuming somebody was supposed to, let me say your boyfriend did not call you, and you start wondering, maybe he doesn't love me anymore. Then you ask yourself, what makes you think he doesn't care anymore? You know, so the more you question those thoughts and you ask yourself, how would you feel if you think that he doesn't care anymore? That's exactly how you are feeling. Then you now change it to ask yourself, who would you be without the thought that he doesn't care anymore? You know, you just sat by yourself because something, an action, maybe the person normally calls, the person didn't call, and you make a decision that the person doesn't care. Meanwhile, that's not what has happened. And by the time you create that energy, that negative energy, energy has a way of traveling, and it will also impact on that person, and the person's response will also become negative. So you just keep transferring negative and negative energy, and it just messes up the whole thing. So what I do every day is, from the morning, I free myself, I decide who I want to be, I have my affirmations. Even when I run into blocks that want to, you know, turn it around, I just keep affirming, you know, this is who I want to be. This is just that consciousness. Once we remain in that consciousness, then we'll keep growing, you know. So that's my.
Wow. Thank you so much, Madam Nnenna. Thank you, Mr. Ndubisi. And you know, I had to apply what Madam Nnenna taught us. So I compiled some of my affirmations or confession, as you want to call it. And if you'd like to take it with us this evening, I know we're supposed to finish by 8. So, but you can stay back and take the confession with us. I'll just share my screen and we can take it together, if you don't mind.
Okay, Magnus, can I just share something, one last
Okay,
word,
please go ahead,
please?
Ma. I'll stop sharing. Please go ahead.
Okay, Okay, another thing that helps that has helped me, which I learned, is learning to love, what is, and let accept what is. That's loving any situation you find yourself in, and not fighting the situation. So whatever happens to me in life, like the other day, Greatness she was trying to tell me something, and she felt maybe she didn't know I was going to take it. And I told her, I said that there's nothing that happens to me that is not for good, that everything works together for good for me. So even the good, the bad, and the horrible, when they come, initially it's not very easy, but learning to accept everything in good faith, no matter how bad the situation is. Once you accept it and take it positively, it helps the situation to change. For instance, there was an extreme of something that happened to me, which I shared with her. I lost my job at some point. And when that happened, I was happy. I took it well. I did everything I was supposed to do, because I had decided I had found out how faith works and how staying positive can actually, change whatever situation you are in. Because when something happens and you go into negative energy, what happens is if there's any good thing coming to change that situation, it will not come to you. You keep repelling it because you have entered into the negative energy zone. So to constantly stay in the positive, accept whatever situation that is happening to you, and love the situation, enjoy it. It's difficult, but you make up your mind and say, okay, for instance, let me say somebody that is in a bad marriage, what do you have to do about it? Just continue loving. Enjoy, find a way to just enjoy it. And you find out that in a matter of time, things will change. But when you keep judging the next person and judging the situation, you are doing yourself more harm than good, because you're piling up negative energy around you. And once you have negativity around you, whatever blessings God has released for you, you cannot attract it. So you keep repelling the blessings or whatever positive things are coming your way, and you keep complaining that bad things are happening to you, but you are the one that has created the zone.
Wow. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you. I'm here, I can hear you.
Okay, Madam Nnenna's network, I guess. Let me just run up with announcement for next week. Next week we're going to be talking on building a solid financial future, and the person that is speaking is a finance coach. We did our coach certification program together, and his name is Benjamin Aduroja. I've known him for how many years now? For like 3 years, and he's been doing this, and he's someone you will enjoy listening to, trust me. Because of network and time, I cannot read his profile. I just wanted to show the graphics so that we can call it a day. Oh. Am I still connected? Okay, yes, I think I am.
Yes, you are. I can actually hear you.
Okay, I will just run to. I just want to show you is the graphics. Of course, we'll share it on social media and also share it on. Okay, so here is it, building a strong financial future, and I'll discuss with him that. I will confirm the time he is available, because we've blocked his calendar for 3 p.m. But with the new development, will communicate via mail. So please look out for our mail at Greatness Unleashed by Love Foundation or Coach Greatness 1. This is his profile. It's very long. I can't read it. But please, I need your help before you leave. I need your help. I wrote a book for the family sphere of influence. It talks about parenting. The book addresses parenting. It talks about healing from abuse. It talks about choosing a spouse. And the subtitle is Why I Cancelled My Wedding. Or the title is Rescued by Love, Why I Cancelled My Wedding. So I need your help, and I need your help to get opportunities to review the book. So any platform you know that I can review the book, I'll be very grateful. The hard copy of the book with the 2 ebooks is 5,000 naira. But everywhere I am called or invited to review the book, I will give it to everyone that is purchasing the book there for 2,500 with the 2 ebooks. And it's also available on Okada Books for 2,000 naira. You can read only Rescued by Love on Okada Book for 2,000 naira. And it's on Amazon, Kindle, the Kindle version, right? So you can read on Amazon for $10. But for tonight alone, if you're going to go and download it tonight, you can get it for $5. From tomorrow, it's going to be $10. And finally, if you want to write CIPM exam, I am an associate of CIPM, and I am willing to give my advisory service to everyone that needs it at a cost. It's not expensive, but not free. So I want to say thank you once again to everyone for joining. Please join us next week. We will communicate
We
the
definitely will.
To you, and we'll share the feedback link right now. Please drop your feedback. Secondly, Madam Nnenna requested for feedback from us. I sent an email. I hope people responded. Please, I'm dropping a feedback link in the chat right now. Please drop your feedback.
Okay, we'll do that.
So that's the link to the feedback. Oh, sorry, I dropped it in the wrong place. So that's the link to the feedback form. Please share your feedback, and Madam Nnenna's feedback form is Coach Nnenna Feedback, BIT Coach Nnenna Feedback. I hope I'm correct. I don't want to send the wrong thing, but when I'm sending the email, I will send it as well. And that is the end of today's session. I wanted us to finish by 8:30 mark. I would also send the link for partnership in case you're interested. I don't know, now the network is stable. When we wanted to take the confession that be the affirmation, it was disrupting.
You can imagine, you can imagine.
Okay, so if you are free to go if you want to go, but I just want the recording. I want the affirmations to enter the recording, so I will still stay back to take it. If you want to join, you can stay. I'm hoping that the network will be stable. If you want to join me, please stay. If you want to leave, you're free to leave. Thank you very much for joining once again. So once you're ready, go. I will be taking this. So I acknowledge God as my source and sustainer. Is anyone joining me?
Yes, I'm here.
Therefore, I lack.
Okay, please let's read together. I acknowledge God as my source and sustainer. Therefore, I lack no good thing.
No good thing.
The grace to build wealth abound to me, so that I always have all sufficiency in all things. I remember today that God is good, who is continually giving me power and ability to get well, that I may have more than enough to give to his kingdom and be a blessing to the needy around me. As a lady of global and eternal influence, I am blessed to be a blessing to nations. Therefore, I lend to many nations and I refuse to borrow. All my words,
Divinely guided and
thoughts, and actions are divinely guided and protected. Positive energy nourishes my body and helps me radiate joy to others. So I am deliberate with my words, the programming of my mind
with the right
resources, exposure,
and I align my beliefs with
empowering ones to become financially independent. Mind is clear of self-doubt, and I am ready to embrace every challenge that comes my way. Every challenge I face is an opportunity to grow, innovate, improve, and unleash my greatness. I have and receive the spirit of wisdom and revelation for creative business ideas, new and witty inventions, divinely birthed innovations that eyes of men have not seen, nor enter the heart of men. All these and more are open unto me. And I birth concepts for multinational companies that will make me blessed in all things, with the blessing of the Lord that makes rich and adds no sorrow to it. Because I have the inspiration from the Holy One and know all things. Now, I begin to solve global problems and end global currencies. I know what to do, with whom to do it, and how to do it, where to do it, to become a lady of global and eternal influence. I make the right decision by the excellent wisdom of God in me. I know the books to read. I know who to listen to make the right decision to make well. I have now moved from ideas to start executing the ideas
in my heart to build wealth. As I create products and services I sell for high performance, I am emphatic with my clients and customers, solving their problems,
solving their problems, meeting their needs, exceeding their expectations, and they refer me to minimum of 10 paying clients and customers
within their sphere
of influence.
I am a loving, therefore I am motivated by love in all that I do. At all times, I allow love to fill every inch of my skin, and I embrace the warmth this love gives to me, meet the needs of my clients and customers. And I am highly rewarded in all currencies. I receive raises and bonuses, sales and commissions, favorable settlements, estates and inheritances, interest and income,
rebates and returns,
discounts and dividends,
lost money found, bills decreased and paid off, blessings and additional income by the favor of God, by the spirit of wisdom I am prudent in investing, saving and spending. I give all diligence so that which is necessary, and what God has led and will lead me to be a financially independent. God gives seed to me and I refuse to eat my seed. I know where to cast my seed, and my harvest comes to me. Money comes to me. My eyes bear open to henceforth to see opportunities around me. Henceforth I maximize every opportunities because I am prepared for them. I recognize the right relationships to invest in and those with which to invest in. I am surrounded with favor as with a shield. Therefore, the right people love me unconditionally and bless me with their resources as I solve their problems. I call forth money from north, south, east, and west of this world. As I fellowship with God daily by studying His Word and praying, I download inventions, innovations, and creative business ideas. I love God and I know the purpose of kingdom wealth. Therefore, I give to the underprivileged. I give to establish
and I know the purpose of kingdom wealth. Therefore, I give to the underprivileged. I give to establish and expand the will of God here on earth. I refuse to be complacent to give. And as I give, angels minister to and for me. The forces and wealth of Gentiles come to me by the favor of God. My gates are open continually, that men bring to me their resources and wealth. Just like my father Abraham, I am rich in gold,
money can buy, and those that money cannot buy.
houses,
In the name of
cars,
Jesus.
things
Thank
money
you, Father.
can buy, and those
Yes, I
money
have
cannot
what I
buy.
say
In
now.
Jesus'
In the name
name.
of Jesus.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you,
Because
Father,
I have
because I have
say
what
now.
I say
I am
now.
surrounded
I am
with
surrounded
favor
with
and
favor as with a shield.
money
Money comes to me.
me
I
daily.
receive
I
those
receive
cash cars, houses. I
Hallelujah.
receive the wealth of the
cash
ungodly.
houses. I receive the wealth of the ungodly. My capacity to be a blessing increases.
Scroll down, please.
Daily. I make, manage, and multiply money. And I walk into my inheritance and build transgenerational wealth. I take over
Can't do that
great
alone.
and
Scroll, please. We are
flourishing
not seeing it.
businesses. And
We are missing it. We
which
are missing
others
it. We are missing it.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
I acquire houses
The
fully
capacity,
furnished.
my
Wealth
capacity
which
to be a
others have
blessing
dug.
increases daily. I make
Vineyards and olive trees which others have
my
planted.
inheritance and build generational wealth.
Okay.
I take over great and flourishing businesses and contract with others have set up. Firehouses fully furnished wells.
I take great and flourishing businesses,
and olive
contracts which others have set up. I acquire houses fully furnished, wells which others have dug, vineyards and olive trees which others have planted without struggle. I receive the wealth gathered and heaped up by the ungodly. As a young adult, my nation, continent, and the world is proud of me. Because I am socially and globally relevant. As a would-be parent, I live and create wealth for my lineage up until minimum the fourth generation. I receive a harvest today of the seed sown in the past. The blood annuls my negative seed sown.
My negative seed sown. And
God
now I have
annuls
a
my
harvest of
negative seed
ideas.
sown. And now I have a harvest of ideas and favors and opportunities, open doors and blessings according to the qualities of my seed that I've sown. I receive 100-fold today of such harvest in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Woo! We're done. So how does the affirmation make you feel? How does it make you feel?
It's great.
Does anybody want to respond? Moses Awolola.
I feel great and I feel positive.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Welcome. What are you hoping for this week?
Like
so what are you hoping for in this new week that we are starting? Oh! I love that, Mr. Alex. I love that. I love that. Interesting. So what are your goals and intentions for this week? Please share. Does anybody want to share? Your goals and intention for this new week we're starting tomorrow.
To begin to be sensitive to opportunities around me.
I love that.
Begin to make positive confessions.
Fantastic, fantastic. Awesome, awesome. So when are you starting? When are you starting?
There are no better times than now. The time is
absolutely now. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. It's only Mr. Moses that is responding, no, and I can see 13 people are still on the call. Who else want to share?
Yeah,
what are your
I'm here.
And okay, please go ahead. Share your goals and intention for the week. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I think I have to continue to read these your affirmations. Normally, when you ask us to join you, I have like two other. I told you before that I have like two other prayer groups that one at 4:30, one at 5. Oh, okay. So I'm not able to join yours. But I think with these affirmations, you can always read it at any point in time, and you can always, take it as something to imbibe when you're less busy, you can keep just harassing it.
Exactly.
I mean, rehearsing it from time to time, you know, because from then it becomes a norm.
Yes. So please create your
much.
own personal affirmation for the week. Describe the week you want and start declaring it. And you will see that you will see it. See, it's just the law of life. The world was framed by our words. So please, let's be deliberate about the world we create. In fact, one thing I've noticed is once everything happening around me is negative, I know it's because I've stopped making affirmations or confessions. That me, I like to call these confessions. Like just, and it's a way to pray. If you don't feel like praying, just take affirmations and start declaring it. With that, you are charged up. So thank you everyone for staying to the end. We appreciate you. And
thank you so much.
I will attach these affirmations with the email to request for feedback and also the record to share the recording. Please ensure that you fill the feedback form. It will be great, very great to have your feedback. And with that, hoping to see you next week. And we're going to tell you the conclusion if it's 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. Although the 7 p.m. habits, like the votes, the difference in the margin was just too far. So I'll discuss with the facilitator for next week and get back to every one of us. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mega Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let me stop.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me stop recording.
Bye.